Let's get physical. It's Jordan here, back again with this week's update on all the physical releases coming to the Nintendo Switch and Nintendo Switch 2. We've got a lot of sweet games this week, a long-awaited sequel, a bunch of cool retro shmup collections, and a Switch 2 physical release that is super important in the fight for the future of physical media. Let's see what we've got. Captain Tsubasa 2 World Fighters is releasing this week on Nintendo Switch and PlayStation 5. I'm actually a bit surprised this is happening. I thought the last game, which surprisingly got a worldwide release, it didn't particularly land well with Westerners, not selling as much as it potentially could. I thought Bandai would have not bothered with the sequel. And this is maybe more for their Japanese audience and thought, why not still translate it? Either way, this is a football game, but it's more than that. It is an anime football game with RPG elements in it. Each one-on-one has you using special abilities and attacks to get round your opponents. Totally over the top and totally way more fun than FIFA could ever be. It is very anime, and I'm glad it's been given another chance. And my executive producers, Dane Wilkinson and Joshua L., they've chosen this as their pick of the week. SAEKO Giantess dating sim is getting a physical release in North America. I don't believe anything has been said about a European one, but something tells me it could happen. Maybe have some patience if you care about your game's regions. And this is a very well regarded adventure game, a dark visual novel style thing with pixel art. You have choices to make which will affect as to if you live or die. Simple but effective mechanics, and it is a well regarded game, especially if you like some Slay the Princess sort of thing. Adventure, despite the name, it's not much of a dating sim, but my executive producers Kevin W. and Danielle O., they've chosen this as their pick of the week. And if you want it or any of the games featured in this video, consider using the links down below in the description and pinned comment. Any purchase made via a link helps support me and this channel in the best way possible. I thank you from the bottom of my heart. VGP are a fantastic company with free worldwide shipping on orders over $55 American dollars. Plus, if you buy something via my link, you are put into a draw to have a chance of winning a $10 discount coupon. And this week's winner is Ferenek K. Congratulations, you should get an email from VGP with your discount coupon in the coming days. If you don't, hit me up and I will sort it out for you. Aggelos 2 is releasing this week, a long-awaited sequel to a cult hidden gem on the Switch. This is an action Metroidvania game that's definitely taking more inspiration from Wonder Boy rather than Castlevania or Metroid, and I am here for it. Nice, chunky, colourful graphics, old-school design. This has you switching between angel and demon forms to change playstyle and the world around you, with two worlds essentially overlapping one another. Puzzles, traps, and a proper simple shop system means I really can't wait for this one. As a quick reminder, the original game finally got a North American physical release not all that long ago, and that is exclusive to VGP. I actually forgot to bring it up in this video series, and you can buy them both together in a bundle with the links below. And my executive producers Super Benjulio, Juice250, and Nerdy Sean, they've chosen this as their pick of the week. Toaplan Arcade Garage Kyukyoku Tiger-Heli is getting a retail release in Europe this week on Nintendo Switch and PlayStation 4. Quite a belated release, but a welcome one to be sure. This released in Japan such a long time ago, and then via limited run games in North America, but this is a more accessible retail release in Europe. It contains 14 games, mostly variations of Twin Cobra and Tiger-Heli, like arcade versions, console versions, but also some bonus games too, and they are all on the cartridge as well. Older shmups, but rather influential and still hold up to this day. I was playing Tiger-Heli on my NES the other week, and I was having a grand old time of it. Simple, but enjoyable. Toaplan Arcade Garage Flying Fire Shark is releasing in Europe this week, and this is the first time this release has got a Western one. Limited Run did not do this one for whatever reason. Maybe sales numbers for Tiger-Heli were disappointing, but it's nice that it's finally coming and at retail in Europe. Also on PlayStation 4, of course. But this contains 14 versions of games in the same series, arcade versions, console versions, and some bonus games. Apparently all on the cartridge too. Even the DLC the package got, which is excellent news, and yeah, more classic shmups to add to the collection. Metal Gear Solid Master Collection Volume 2 is releasing this week on both Nintendo Switch and Nintendo Switch 2. Obviously, on Switch 2, it is a game key, boo, but even the original Switch is not exempt from download nonsense. This Volume 2 requires a download. This collection includes 3 games, which I think is a bit meager. I think they could have squeezed a couple more spin-offs into this collection, in my opinion, but of course, with Metal Gear Solid 4 finally being unshackled from the PlayStation 3, they could have just sold that by itself. But it also includes the PSP game Peace Walker, which is considered essential really, and the Game Boy Color game Ghost Babel, which is a bit of a gem on that system, and low-key the one I'm looking forward to the most. It is currently not clear what is actually on the Switch cartridge. If I had to guess, I would think it's only Ghost Babel and the comic thing, but who knows? It said there were over 5 GB of data on this cartridge, and Peace Walker is less than that, so maybe that's on the cartridge, but maybe I'm being too hopeful. We will have to see once it actually comes out to be sure. On PlayStation 5 and Xbox, which is also releasing, who knows either these days, but my executive producers, despite the download requirement, Justin PDC, Lewis K, JCross7776, and OGCIB, they've chosen this as their pick of the week. And if you're new here, before we move on, if you enjoy physical video games, you enjoy owning the things you pay money for, then hit that subscribe button. It will be the best thing you do today, I promise you. Plus, the bigger this channel is, the more publishers will pay attention to the demand for physical media. Do your bit and subscribe. Super Bomberman Collection is releasing this week on Nintendo Switch and Nintendo Switch 2, on a proper cartridge as a Nintendo Switch 2 edition, meaning it will play on your original Switch as well. And there may be a good reason to choose the Switch physical over the original Switch physical, but more on that in a second. This is a fantastic collection of the NES and Super Nintendo Bomberman games, some of which are officially translated to English for the first time. It includes so much content, and super fun content too, single player, multiplayer, it's got it all and is lovingly presented. It's definitely a treat and deserves to be supported. The physical is quite complicated though. If you want the full lowdown, check out my review of this package, which I made a video for like months ago. On PS5 and Switch, it's at retail in all regions. Xbox is exclusive to Europe, and the Switch 2 physical for both regions, they are exclusive to certain websites. In Europe, the Switch 2 physical is exclusive to redartgames.com. I've linked them down below, and if you want to get it from there, you can get 10% off with my discount code Jordan10. Just remember to click my link first. In North America, the Switch 2 physical is exclusive to Video Games Plus. I've linked them down below too. So why get the Switch 2 over the original Switch, even if you don't own a Switch 2 yet? Well, the recently added bonus game, Panic Bomber W, that will be on the cartridge, the Switch 2 cartridge, compared to the Switch, which is a downloadable update. I guess they manufactured that a bit too early. So if you get the Switch 2 version, you get an extra game on the cartridge rather than a download. And my executive producers, Josh Foote, Jake Vav, Azrath, John Jamin, Ghost Bune, Madhawk110, Miami Sunrise, and Jeddah Crow, they've chosen this as their pick of the week. Wanderstop is releasing this week on Nintendo Switch 2 on a proper cartridge, and this is a game from a combination of the creators of The Stanley Parable and Gone Home. It's not what you would expect from those guys. It is a cozy life sim of sorts, but there is a huge narrative focus, and it's supposed to be really good. An emotional journey that just happens to have you running a tea shop. A thoughtful, contemplative experience that lives up to the Stanley Parable's creators, just in a different way, showing that they do have range. They're not a one-trick pony. It's also releasing on PlayStation 5. And my executive producers, Mojo, Jennifer M, and Viz, they've chosen this as their pick of the week. Moonlight Peaks Nintendo Switch 2 Edition is releasing this week on Nintendo Switch 2 on a proper cartridge as a Nintendo Switch 2 edition, meaning that it will play on your original Switch. Now this is a European retail release. This already came out in Japan and Asia, I've covered it before, and over there they had an original Switch physical, but what about North America? Well, who knows, it's not here. So North Americans, it seems like you'll have to import it unless something changes. And this was a surprisingly big hit, a cozy farming life sim but with a horror theme to it. Pretty much genius unless it's been done before, I don't know. Either way, a massive hit digitally. Now is the time to grab it physically if you have been eagerly awaiting it. It's also worth pointing out that on Nintendo Switch 2 this week, Elden Ring Tarnished Edition is releasing as a game key. Boo! And Brigandine Abyss is also releasing as a game key. Boo! But wait about that second one, okay? Because there is something super special about Brigandine Abyss that I'm going to talk about in a minute. Don't miss it. But first we have to talk about the low print limited pre-orders. Jay and Silent Bob Chronic Blunt Punch is up for pre-order right now at limitedrungames.com. Also on PlayStation 5, this is like their second Jay and Silent Bob game, so something tells me they are fans. Apparently this game took 10 years to get out after a troubled development history through crowdfunding, and it released digitally a few months back to middling reviews. I think it's fine as a beat 'em up, but the 10-year wait had backers expecting more for their money and their time. Visually it's quite strong, a bit higher quality than you'd expect from a licensed IP, and maybe it's not so buggy now after release and patches and stuff like that. And my executive producers, Punky Dooster, Cartoon Soren, and Big Bruno, they've chosen this as their pick of the week. The Golden Idol Saga is Super Rare Games' latest Switch physical, and it's going up for pre-order on Thursday with 5,000 copies of a standard edition available and 1,500 copies of a collector's edition, so quite a big print number. This is basically a double pack, complete edition, because it includes the case of the Golden Idol and the Rise of the Golden Idol, plus all of their expansions and DLC cases, two extremely well-regarded detective puzzle mystery games as you explore freely and build around all your clues yourself to solve each of the cases presented. It is a big print number, but probably deservedly so. Be there on Thursday if you want it, and my executive producers, Brent McLean, Mr. Lee from Eastern NC on eBay, Sora Cat, and Wixit, they've chosen this as their pick of the week. Alright, let's take a look at Japan and Asia this week. If you want to pre-order any of these, you can do so from VGP, but also Play Asia, where if you click my Play Asia link, you can get 5% off with my discount code Jordan2026. But you must click my link first, otherwise the discount won't work, and sometimes your browser may interfere with your link click, so if it's still not working, try a different browser, or use my imports database and go from there. And it is worth pointing out that due to their massive PlayStation 4 reprint campaign that's going on, for the next couple of weeks, Play Asia have free worldwide shipping on orders over $99 US, so now is a really good time to make use of that and get your orders in. Telenet Shooting Collection 1 and 2 is releasing this week as a Play Asia exclusive release, well, half of it at least. From this double pack, Limited Run did do the first one, but Volume 2 remained a Japanese language only collection until now. Play Asia have brought 1 and 2 together in a convenient double pack where you'll get 8 obscure but well-loved shmups from the PC Engine and Mega Drive, many of them translated to English for the first time. It is a great collection for shmup and retro enthusiasts, and it's got a standard edition as well as a collector's edition, which includes a HuCard style USB stick with all the music tracks from all of the games, a mini case, art book, a character magnet, Joy-Con stickers, and a certificate just in case you thought it was fraudulent. It is a little bit pricey, but still the cheapest and best way to get these games physically. And my dream is that this is a success enough that they will do this sort of thing with other Adia games, their collections such as the Cosmic Fantasy Collection. God, I hope they do that. And my executive producer, Instacritic, he's chosen this as his pick of the week. Idol Immortal is releasing this week in Southeast Asia. It will play in English. I had a video on this game where I played it for 4 or 5 hours, and yeah, it's an idle game. It's an RPG where you play it in the background as you let your squad grind away as you go through hundreds of waves of enemies, then you upgrade them, upgrade your base, recruit more members, upgrade some more, and then grind away again. It's okay for what it is. If you need this in your life, I'm sure some personality types will really appreciate this type of genre. Personally, not my kind of game, but it's not bad, and there is an absolute bucket load of content and lovely wobbly character art. Psikyo Collection Volumes 1, 2, 3 pack is out already. What? Yeah, for some reason, Play Asia have an exclusive new, re-release of these shmups that they suddenly put on the website a few days ago, and it's already out. They've barely even announced it. Whether they feel it's not something worth talking about or their marketing team is just completely overwhelmed, I don't know, but these already released worldwide in various ways. In Asia, there were these 3 volumes. In the West, they were condensed into 2 volumes, Alpha and Bravo, same amount of games together though. However, these have since become rather expensive. Even the Asian versions were starting to get quite pricey, like $50 a pop. That was until they've just reprinted all 3 Asian volumes And as a bonus with that reprint, they put all 3 of them together in this triple pack. Convenient and easier on the wallet, probably, I've not done the maths. And it's in a nice cover sleeve. It is a Play Asia exclusive, technically, and a great way to pick up some fantastic shmup, some of my favorite of the genre. Wow, there is a lot of shmup collections this week, and my executive producers, God of Resin, Mr. Awesome, and Jimmy A. Guerrero, they've chosen this as their pick of the week. Brigandine Abyss is releasing this week in Asian regions. Hang on, didn't you just mention this as a game key? Yes, in North America, in Europe, and in Japan, Brigandine Abyss is a game key, boo. But the Asian publisher, Just Dan, they are being absolute chads because they know how important a proper physical release is to consumers, and so they are sticking their version of the game on a proper Switch 2 cartridge. Hell yes! The latest game in the cult strategy series, this has you taking control of one of a dozen kingdoms, each with their own story to unfold as you conquer the land. Maybe it can be compared to something like Dragon Force, a different battle system but similar overall concept, and the fact it's been put on a proper cartridge in just one region, I think that really needs to be supported to send a message. If this Hong Kong version sells 10 times the amount compared to, game keys, I think NIS America and HappyNet will be a bit embarrassed and maybe start to take notice. We want proper physicals. And, best of all, this Hong Kong physical plays in English no problem. Get it if it looks interesting to you. And my executive producers, Adamantium, Alexander Cato, Cole Animals, Abs, Firm Returns, and G Bautista 100, they've chosen this as their pick of the week. Hong Kong is getting a Otomi visual novel, I think we have that one already. Japan is getting Neptunia Unlimited on Switch and Switch 2 as a proper cartridge, but it doesn't have English. Hopefully that gets translated in the future and released in the West. And Japan is also getting 3 game keys, all of which have English, and all of which are only releasing in Japan. So it's kind of like import exclusive game keys, which is a very specific pigeonhole that I'm not really willing to promote heavily, but it's still interesting, I guess. I don't know. Alright, once again, there is no community spotlight this week, but good news, I want your photos once again. Yes, I am opening up submissions, and next week the community spotlight will be back. I am back from my vacation in the UK. My wallet is much lighter, and I physically recovered. Alright, my body clock is a bit weird right now, but I'm not tired. So the community spotlight is go. As it is the final episode of the month, I also have to do a Patreon shout out. My executive producers, Dane Wilkinson, God of Resin, Brent McLean, Alexander Cato, JCross7776, Punky Dooster, Cartoon Soren, Robotech, Thorn Metaluna, Vey, Instacritic, Precision Plague, Alex M, Josh Foot, Lewis K, Kevin W, Jennifer M, Super Ben Julio, Double Dave, Husway and Horworth, Sora Cat, The Nemo 6, Ghost Bune, G Bautista 100, Rose, Adamantium, Azrath, Jake Vab, D's Nuts, Jeddah Crow, Brotorius, Surfacing for Air, Justin PDZ, Danielle O, Cava Clavacol, Nerdy Sean, Ligma, Big Bruno, Jimmy A. Guerrero, Viz, Dead Bunny's YouTube, Joshua L, Firm Returns, Kevin M, OGCIB, Mr. Awesome, Miami Sunrise, John Jamin, AMH, Madhawk 110, Raven Knight, Mojo, Juice 250, Mr. Lee from Eastern NC on eBay, Cole Animals, Chase Amine, Abs, and Wixit. Thank you so much for your support, plus you watching right now. If you watched all the way through, I want to know who you are, so please leave me a tiger emoji or a shark emoji in honor of those shmup collections. And I hope you all have a fantastic day. Take care.